All right, today we are jumping into a really fantastic book by psychologist Jonathan Haidt called The Happiness Hypothesis. What's so cool about it is how it mixes ancient wisdom with modern science to get at a huge question. What actually makes us happy? You know that feeling, right? Where you decide you're going to eat healthy and then someone brings out a birthday cake? Suddenly, there's this full-on battle raging in your head. One part of you is like, nope, stick to the plan, while the other part is already drooling. Well, that internal fight, that's not just you. It's a core part of being human. To help us understand this, Haidt gives us this brilliant metaphor. Picture your mind in two parts. You've got the writer and you've got the elephant. The writer, that's your conscious, logical mind. It's the planner, the reasoner. But the elephant? Oh, the elephant is everything else. It's your automatic gut feelings, your emotions, your deep-seated instincts and desires. And this constant tug of war is what Haidt calls the divided self. It's the struggle between what the writer knows is the right thing to do and what the elephant feels like doing. And really, understanding this division is the key to everything that follows. So let's take a closer look at these two masters, the writer and the elephant, and the real power dynamic between them. Because, it might feel like we're the ones in the driver's seat, but the truth is, it's a lot more complicated than that. Just think about the physics here. The writer can see the road, hold the reins, and try to steer. But if that 6-ton elephant beneath him decides it wants to go somewhere else, well, guess who's going to win that fight? Every time. The writer is the strategist, for sure, but the elephant is the one with all the power, all the motivation. If the elephant doesn't want to move, the writer is totally stuck. And hey, this isn't some newfangled idea. The philosopher David Hume was saying this centuries ago. A lot of the time, our rational mind, our writer, isn't even leading. It's more like a press secretary, just showing up after the elephant has already made a decision to come up with some smart-sounding justification for it. So, why is the elephant so incredibly powerful? Well, it's not a bug, it's a feature. It's a direct result of our evolution. Our emotional systems are wired up in a way that gives them the advantage for some very, very good reasons. For one thing, there's something called the adaptation principle. We tend to think that if we win the lottery, we'll be happy forever. Or if something terrible happens, we'll be miserable forever. But the science shows that's just not how it works. After a surprisingly short amount of time, our elephant just adapts. We go right back to our baseline happiness level. This means those big wins we chase don't give us the lasting joy we think they will. And this gets at what's called the progress principle. See, our elephant gets a way bigger kick of pleasure from making progress towards a goal than from actually achieving it. The real joy is in the journey, not the destination. As soon as you win, the elephant gets a little bored and starts looking for the next mountain to climb. And then there's the negativity bias. Think about it. For our ancestors to survive, their brains had to be like Velcro for bad experiences and Teflon for good ones. A missed threat was way more consequential than a missed meal. That old wiring is still in us. Our elephant freaks out way more over bad news or criticism than it celebrates good things. One little insult can completely overshadow a dozen compliments. Okay, so if we can't count on big achievements to make us happy, what can we count on? This is where Haidt gives us a really useful formula. He says happiness equals S, our biological set point, plus C, our life conditions, plus V, our voluntary activities. So let's break that down. S is your biological set point. It's basically the genetic lottery for how cheerful you tend to be, and yeah, it's a pretty big slice of the pie. C is your life conditions. Things like your health, your relationships, how much money you have. They matter, but not as much as we think, because remember, we adapt to them. But V, our voluntary activities, this is the real game changer. This is where the writer can make choices that actually create lasting, meaningful change in our happiness. And that brings us to the really practical part. If you want to be happier, the writer can't just shout orders at the elephant. It doesn't work. You have to train it. So, how in the world do we do that? Well, Haidt points to 3 proven methods. First, meditation. This is like taking the elephant to the gym. It helps calm its anxieties and retrains its automatic reactions. Second, cognitive therapy. This gives the writer a toolkit to spot the elephant's distorted thinking and gently challenge it. And third, For some people, medications can help by adjusting the elephant's brain chemistry, making it less prone to panic and negativity. The main takeaway here is so important. Willpower is not enough. The writer yelling at a spooked elephant just makes things worse. Real, lasting change comes from using these structured methods consistently over time to gently guide the elephant onto a new, healthier path. And all of this leads to the book's biggest, most profound insight. Happiness isn't something you just find inside your own head, and it's not something you get from the outside world either. It's something else entirely. One of its sources is something Haidt calls vital engagement. You probably know this feeling as flow, when you're so completely absorbed in what you're doing that time just seems to melt away. This happens when the writer and the elephant are perfectly in sync, moving together toward a goal that really matters to you. It's a perfect example of a voluntary activity, that V in our formula, and it gives us deep gratification, not just shallow pleasure. Ultimately, Haidt argues that we're a lot like plants. You know, a plant can't flourish just by trying hard. It needs the right conditions: sun, good soil, water. And for us humans, the essential conditions for flourishing are love and work. We need deep, secure relationships, and we need work that gives us that sense of purpose and vital engagement. When we get those external conditions right, we can't help but thrive. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Stop chasing happiness itself. It's like trying to grab a sunbeam. Instead, focus your energy on building the right conditions in your life. Nurture strong connections with people, with your work, and maybe with something bigger than yourself. If you do that, happiness shows up all on its own. So, to wrap it all up, real, lasting happiness isn't a prize you win. It's something that emerges. It grows out of the quality of the connections between you and everything else in your life. It's about finding that sweet spot of harmony between your rider and your elephant, and between yourself and the world around you. So that leaves us with one final thought. Your rational mind, your rider, now has a much better map of the territory. The only question is, what's the next small step you're going to take to start guiding your elephant down a better path?